back. I know you're nervous, but don't be. Let's talk. So before I even go into this week of Catfish, I have to say something about last week because, wow. First thing I gotta say about last week is I didn't know what happened to the kid from I See Dead People. Haley Joel Osment. I wondered what happened to him after that movie came out. Turns out he's a self-important little dork who couldn't control himself when other people were around the girl he liked. So he created this group, and then he would throw fake bitches at people to keep them away from the girl that he liked. What type of psycho god complex is that? I mean, I get it because the acne probably like really messed him up on the inside, and he was scared and uncomfortable because that acne was fucked up. It looked like road in Iraq, like it was just destroyed, and his face was just like, oh, I get it, I get that, but he was just weird. He was weird, and he got the girl back at the end, which is like, what is wrong with her? Like, well, she's in there in this group for people who have like psychological missteps in their lives, so maybe she's just something's wrong. But she, after all this shit he pulled, he got her back. Poor dude, right? He's like, I sent you my dick picture. Like, did you enjoy that? Am I like are you just like seeing my dick every time you look at me? I don't feel comfortable with all of this happening. And the dude was just like, I see dead people. He didn't say it. I admit he didn't say it. I retract my statement. Last week's episode was weird. It's fucking weird. Let's just call it what it was. It was weird. Okay, let's get into this week's episode. But before we do, I just made a video, and I'm going to leave a link in the comment section. I just want you to click on it and just check it out for a second. Then come back. Then bring it back. And we're going to talk about this week's episode. Now, because I'm ill-prepared and my memory is about that big, I can't remember the names. So what we're going to go with is girl emo and boy emo, okay? So, girl emo meets boy emo on MySpace of all places, which clearly this is like 8, 15, 20, 30 years ago. You meet them on MySpace, and they have this nice little friendship, and they're talking to each other, and they're leaning on each other, and they're helping each other out, and they create this bond. Then all of a sudden, dude disappears. His whole shit is wiped clean. He disappears, and she's like, "Oh, well, what the fuck happened? You just gonna leave me? You just gonna walk out? Huh? Curtis was supposed to love me." I'm sorry. But it got, she got hurt. She was hurt by it. But the dude comes back like 2 years later and comes out of the blue, and he hits her back up, and they rekindle their relationship or friendship or whatever. Before, they talked on the phone and all this stuff, but now he doesn't have a phone. He uses an app on an iPod Touch, which that's a huge red flag. And they don't do conversations anymore. They don't video chat. That's his computer. He doesn't have a webcam. What computer doesn't have a webcam? So already all the things are lining up against him. And in my mind, I was like, this is going to be horrible. Great. Let's just see how horrible it comes out. And turns out, Neve and Max come on board, and they do their little thing, and they come up with the idea that this person might be a girl, which is a good thought, and I can't blame them for coming up with it because it makes sense if you put all the things together. They go search him on Facebook, and there's all these Facebook saying the dude's name, and I thought, well, only time you see something like that is if the person's famous, or if he's YouTube famous, or if he's internet famous or something like that. And it turns out this guy is sort of kind of YouTube famous. So when I see that, my head comes, and the thoughts come in my head, and I'm like, well, they find his YouTube page, and I think, well, this motherfucker got a YouTube page. He making videos. Why can't he use, he said, you can Skype me? He's like giving her all this information on how to contact him, but he wouldn't let this girl contact him. So I'm like, oh, this nigga, he ain't real. He can't possibly be real, right? But then I thought about something. And Neve and Max, they didn't bring this up, which they should have. And it's the reason why I thought it's possible that he is real. Okay. So, people who created YouTube, Facebook pages dedicated to this guy and started using his name, right? But, how would they know about the previous relationship with her? You understand? Unless two things happen. He was YouTube famous back then as a little kid, or he told the story to somebody, or maybe he told it on YouTube. And if one of those two things didn't add up, then he had to be himself. He had to be the real person. And so I had an inkling of that happening, but I wasn't entirely sure. But let me, before I start to ramble off and go into crazy places, I want to mention this. So they finally decide, we're going to go meet you. He lives in Minnesota, which already, I'm like, I ain't flying to Minnesota for nothing. For nothing. And if I get there, you better be the person you said you was, goddamn it, because I'm going to bury you in this snow. Okay? So they get to Minnesota, and they go to this house, and they knock on the door, and the weirdest, dead-eyed motherfucker in the world comes to the door, and he's like, hi. And they're like, hi, are you the fucking guy we're supposed to be looking for? And he's like, no. Would you like to come in and meet him? Come in. And they're looking like, oh, we ain't going in this house with this one. Now, that was their thought process, but they went in the house. Are you fucking crazy? They went in the house, and he's like, I'll be right back. Hell no. You don't go in the house. Tell him, bring his little ass out. We don't go into the house until we meet you and we hear your sob story. Then we go in the house. Fuck no. You don't go in the house after crazy eyes. And they did. But it turned out to be him. So he comes out, and I'm like, what is Seth Green? Seth Green, what are you doing here? This chick's been talking to Seth Green all these years. What's happening? And he comes out, and it's him, which is great. And he was serious. He had a shitty little iPod touch thingy that he's been texting on. He has no phone. His parents shut him out of the internet because they didn't want him talking to strangers on the internet and possibly getting catfished. So it all came together and made sense, which is the craziest fucking thing in the world to me. So what I want to say about this episode is I liked it, and it was good, but it didn't have what I wanted. I wanted bad things to happen. Maybe I'm fucked up in the head, but the point of Catfish is to make really bad things happen. You know what I mean? I wanted some fat guy to come out on a rascal. He lost a leg to diabetes, but he was like, we can still kick it, you know, that kind of thing. And it didn't happen. This was a weird roller coaster, and it came to a conclusion that was nice. So good for them. I mean, they didn't get together because she had a real man in real life, which is a whole nother story. Why would you even do this if you have a real person? Sure, there's emotions attached to the person, but there's a potential for that person not to be anybody, or it's not to be who you think it is. You have somebody who is right here and they're actually real. You pick real over fake all day. So, but they did it, and that was nice. I'm going to stop talking now because I'm starting to ramble. I had this idea, though. I want to know what you guys think of it. Next year, for Catfish, what if I did like a Ustream, and we all got together and we all watched it on Ustream, and then I could just do my unfiltered thoughts as it's happening, because believe me, the shit that comes out of my head when I see it off top is way funnier than the things that come off of my head later. I don't know why, because some people like you think and it gets better. Okay, that's enough. Thanks for watching, guys. I don't know how many episodes are left, but we will get through them together. I love you guys. Deuces, and don't forget to watch my other video and check out my other channel. stuff happens on both of those things that you don't want to miss. That's it, guys. Deuces.